Hey y'all, so I'm here at my parents' property to say hello to Johnny on his anniversary today. 2 years ago I dug this hole. So I thought I'd just share some things I remember about him and things that I miss about him. I was just thinking today about when I got him at the shelter. And the thing about Johnny was he chose me. So that summer I lived with my friend Lindsay, and I had never had a pet in my life, and I knew I wanted to get a pet. I was gonna be living on my own finally. I could finally have a pet, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. And we would go to the shelter every couple weeks, and we saw them bring in a bunch of little tiny kittens, and we were like, okay, we're gonna come back in like 3 weeks, and they'll be old enough to get adopted, and we'll see what the kittens are. So we did that. We waited the 3 weeks. We went back, and there was this big cage full of all the kittens, a bunch of black and white kittens and an orange cat. Most of them were already on hold, so like someone was going to be coming to get them. Oh my god, my arm's tired. So we were just, standing there looking at them, and I was like sad because I wanted to get an orange cat to match me. So I was like, darn, the orange kitten's taken. And Johnny climbs. It was like a 3-level high cage. It was a big cage. He climbed from the bottom up on top of all his siblings to the very top, and reached out with both paws to touch my hand because I was like, I had my hand on the edge of the crate, I think. So he climbed all the way up, reached out and touched my hand, and then I knew, like, this is my cat right here. I know this is my cat. It was like an instant soul connection. I think he was my soul. My soulmate in cat form. I think that's a thing. My soul cat. I don't know. And when I got him, I was, prepared. I signed up I was ready to love him and care for him for 20 years. That's what I was hoping for. And my first ever video with him on YouTube, I said, this is my little friend. We're going to grow old together. And we didn't get to. So that kind of sucks. Because he was a good cat. He was an annoying cat, but I mean, honestly, what cat isn't annoying? But he would always greet me when I got home. He'd run from wherever he was, come to the door, meow at me. I'd pick him up, and we'd go sit on the couch, and I'd hold him on my chest like this, and I'd pet him and ask him how his day was. He would lick my face. It would last for about 5 minutes, then he'd, go scatter off and do whatever he wanted. And he liked to shower with me. Not in the shower, but he'd be in the bathroom and just meow at me. Like, what are you doing in the shower? He'd sit in the sink, or he'd sit on the toilet, and he'd just wait for me to get out. If I took a bath, he was there trying to get in the water, or not fall in the water. But and in my first apartment, he would always attack my feet from under the shower curtain while I was in the shower. So he had a thing for water. He was so cute. When he would eat, he would lay down on the floor. There's some videos on my channel from old videos. He would lay on the floor and scrape the food out one piece at a time and crunch it. So he'd scoop some out of the bowl, and then he'd eat them one at a time. He would never ever sit at the bowl and eat. I remember when he was a kitten, I Googled, why is my cat laying down to eat? Because I was like, is something wrong with him? And he's just liked to eat that way. So he was so snuggly, and he was there for me for a lot of really difficult stuff at the very beginning of my transition. When I first got him, I got him before I even started hormones. It was right before I started hormones, before all the stuff with my parents. And so, my first Christmas, when I wasn't talking to my family, it was just me and Johnny, so he was there for me for that. He was my comfort in a lot of things. And he was my comfort as I dealt with Pup-Up's sickness, and then, he was going to be my comfort as I dealt with Pup-Up's death, and then he was also gone, and that absolutely wrecked me. And I can remember that day so clearly. I'll never forget it as long as I live. Seeing him on the floor laying as if he was asleep, with his little tongue sticking out and his eyes rolled up. And I picked up his leg, and it was just stiff. And I just, I can't even explain that feeling that came over me. It was just, absolutely, shock, denial, everything that was going on. And I sat there, and I was like, no. This is not happening. This is not happening. And I sat on the floor and cried and held him and wrapped in a towel for a really long time, and I was just petting him and crying. if I could cry enough, he will come back. That was how I felt at the time. And I've struggled with over the years, wondering what I could have done. You know, if he was sick in some way, or I mean, the doctor couldn't tell me what happened unless I paid for a really expensive autopsy. So it was like, not really worth it. I didn't have the money at the time for that. Certainly would I like to know, but I don't know that it would make me feel any better to know. But I do wonder, you know, how could I have saved him? And I do wonder, you know, why did my healthy cat, he was literally about to turn 2 years old, why did he die? I'll never know. I'll never know why we only got 2 years instead of 20. But I think about him every day, and I miss him every day, and you know, I love Ezra and Charlie and Paisley, Hannah's cat, but not in the same way, because the thing about them is, I realized, I said this to a friend earlier today, the thing about them is, I went and I chose Ezra and Charlie, but Johnny chose me. So, it's a completely different feeling, completely different connection. He chose me. And he saved me, he really did. I sometimes I do really struggle with guilt and feeling like in my worst moments I wish that I could trade in Ezra and Charlie to get Johnny back, and that's not fair to them. They're very good cats, but they're just not the same, and they never will be the same, and I have to remember that. But Johnny was one of a kind, and I will always wish he was still here. But yeah, it's a beautiful day. I'm sad, but I'm just remembering everything. Kind of the same as with Pup Up, you know. It's sad, but I'm grateful for the memories, and I'm grateful for him in the same way. And I've always vowed to be honest about my feelings and to share, and some of my most commented videos are about, you know, in the aftermath of Johnny's death, talking about how pet loss was so difficult. So a lot of people are out there feeling this way, and society makes you feel like you shouldn't feel this way about a pet. But I mean, I freaking sobbed my brains out for weeks and months, you know, and you don't get sick time when your cat dies, but or bereavement time, I should say. But anyway, that's a whole nother video. But I'm gonna go on to the next thing here, but I thought I would just sit down here for a little while and share my feelings on Johnny. And of course, I miss him in my YouTube videos. He was always jingling something, knocking over something. Somehow he always knew. As soon as I sat down and pressed record on my webcam, he would be like, or my laptop, he would be like, oh, this is the time to make noise. He would be silent the rest of the night, before and after that, but then the 5 minutes where I'm making a video, he'd be doing something. So, I'll put a link in the description to the video I made in memory of him. It was just a kind of compilation of all the times he appeared in my YouTube videos, so I miss that guy. I miss that little furry guy. I'm glad that I have his Instagram to creep back on. I'm glad that I did that. I'm glad that I was an obsessive cat dad and took a lot of photos of him, because that would be really sad if I didn't have any of those like videos and photos to look back on. But I have a lot that I can look at. I have a lot on my computer too that didn't all make it onto Instagram, but I'll put a link to that too if anyone wants to see how cute he was and watch some funny videos of a cute fat cat. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good week, and I'll talk to you next time. Like I used to always say in my videos, say bye, John. I accidentally called Charlie Johnny earlier. He was like laying, and I was like, hey John, and then I was like, oh god, I'm so sorry, but you do look like him because you're black and white like Johnny. But all right, like I said before, hope you guys are having a good week. I'll talk to you next time.